song came to its end. Silence reigned as the memory of sound lingered in the air. Isu hardly dared breathe, fearing to break the spell. Sama Conn was still looking at her, and she felt her cheeks redden, drying the tears on her face. He continued to stare at her, and she grew annoyed. Raising her chin in defiance, she stepped onto the dais. Her dress whispered softly in the silence, enhancing, not breaking the spell. Her thoughts were as turbulent as the unfrozen river she had imagined. She would bring him down a peg or two. How dare a travelling musician sit at her table in her place? Isu stopped before him, suddenly aware that every eye in the great hall was upon her. Embarrassment welled up inside. She forced it down, determined to demand why he was in her place. Sama looked gravely at her. He had such blue eyes. "That was beautiful," she found herself saying graciously. "What is it called?" "It is the song of the great river, Your Highness," he said respectfully. His eyes bored into her, and she was reminded of the way Jaya looked at her. Automatically she blanked her thoughts, and into her mind came a picture of the huge bronze sun. She felt herself relaxing and stared back at Sama. Isu frowned, forgetting what she had meant to say next. "Can you teach me to play the harp?" she asked demurely. A murmur of approval swept the hall. Isu hardly heard it. Sama filled her vision. Everything about him was colourful. The torchlight glimmered on the gold that pierced his ears and lay around his wrists and throat. His woolen shirt was white and new, but his brown leather trousers were patched and worn. His blue eyes stared at her. Such a blue, Isu thought to herself, more blue than the sky itself. The torchlight could not hide the flecks of grey in his hair, and there were lines about his eyes. Isu wondered how old he was. "Certainly, Your Highness." Sama smiled, and heat flared up inside Isu's body. He held out his hand to her, palm down. The heat dissipated instantly. Isu felt insulted. How dare he put himself above her? She outranked him by several mountain ranges. Sama's brows contracted slightly, and his eyes widened as if in sudden understanding. And he turned his palm upwards. Isu's annoyance vanished immediately. "If Your Highness wishes to learn," Sama began. Isu ignored the proffered hand, leant forward and stroked the strings. A cacophonous jangle split the air, breaking the spell. Everyone, except Sama and Isu, put their hands over their ears. Outside, something fell to the snow-covered ground with a thud, smashing and crashing like glass as it fell. Sama snatched her hands away from the string with one hand and stilled the sound with his other hand, as the people in the hall uncovered their ears. "There is a lot to learn before you can even touch the strings," said Sama. Isu didn't feel trapped. She couldn't move away, even though the musician held her hand loosely. His fingertips were calloused and rough, but his skin was warm. He felt so alive. A grey cloak flapped, and Jaya sprang up onto the dais. Isu snatched her hand away immediately. The councillor's face was bleak as he approached the princess. "You did not return to the royal tower." His tone made it clear he was angry. Instead of feeling cowed, something rose up inside Isu. "No," she said imperiously, "it did not please me to return. Your welcome to musicians of such talent lacked grace and genuine feeling, so I took it upon myself to welcome them." Jaya's nostrils flared, and Isu wondered if she had gone too far. If you want to know what happens next, you can find out in Vintrigs Kingdom, available now at Amazon.